What's going on, everyone? It's Rifle here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about a few topics, and a lot of these may be pertaining to DLC in the future of Destiny 2. First off, I wanted to talk about this random gigantic sword model that I have never seen in game. If you're familiar with the swords in Destiny 2, none relate to the size or structure of this sword. So far, that is. Maybe this sword model that isn't fully loaded is a future sword that we'll be able to obtain. I mean, I don't really know, to be honest, but it doesn't make sense why this can be seen in game if it isn't actually in Destiny 2 at all. So hopefully we see this beautiful monstrosity in the future. This giant sword could be made from the Ahamkara like some of our other exotics in Destiny. Then again, I could be wrong about that, but here's an amazing concept of what an Ahamkara's sword could look like. This is the only one that I could find, and in my head I pictured the sword to actually be a lot bigger, such as the one that is on my back currently. Because in case you guys don't know, the Ahamkara is freaking massive. Here is an official concept art from Bungie, yes, from Bungie, of what the Ahamkara looked like. They are, once again, massive. And I'll get more into detail about why I think that we'll be getting an exotic sword from the Ahamkara later on in this video, so stay tuned for that. And in case you're wondering, how was I even able to see this giant unloaded sword on my back? Honestly, I just flew into the tower with my sword equipped on my Titan, and all of a sudden this ginormous sword was on my back, not fully loaded in. And once again, there is no sword the size of this sword in Destiny 2. To be honest, this sword reminds me of Cloud's sword in the Final Fantasies, if you guys are familiar with that. It looks amazing. But since I just mentioned that this sword could be made from the Ahamkara, let me go ahead and get into my next part of this video, and it'll make more sense why. Secondly, I wanted to get into what was recently discussed when Deej flew out to EGX in UK to talk to the game developers who designed the worlds that we play in Destiny 2. One of the questions that were brought up to the world designers was about the giant bones that we see around on Io, and asking if they were just for looks or what. The world designers didn't get into too much detail about them, but had said they have a bigger meaning besides just aesthetically pleasing. They were hinting basically that we'll understand more about these in the future. Once again, their answer was vague on these. They didn't really want to spoil too much about it. But this could actually be hinting at finally encountering dragons in Destiny 2. The reason being is because in some of the lore it states that there were some Ahamkara dragons still living around Jupiter, and Io is Jupiter's moon, in case you guys don't know. I mean, it would make sense, and I'm sure a lot of Destiny fans would love that. I know I personally would. In case you guys don't know, the Ahamkara have been brought up quite a bit in Destiny's lore. We've never actually got to witness them in game of what they look like, but you can get a glimpse at one of Bungie's official concept art of them, as shown previously, and once again they are insanely huge. I have mixed emotions just looking at this concept art. I am terrified but also excited. It's weird. And the Guardians took most of them out because they were a danger to civilization. Of course, not all of them were probably this size, I'm sure, and this is the reason why I was saying that maybe this sword that I was introducing to you guys in the beginning, that we have no idea what it is, once again, maybe that is part of an Ahamkara's tooth from one of these dragons. That would be an epic exotic to get our hands on in a future DLC. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I would love an Ahamkara sword. It doesn't even have to be part of its teeth. It could be, just part of a random bone. Because these things, once again, were massive. And of course, strong. I mean, that's a no-brainer. And magical, which is why some of their bones are already used for exotics, such as the claws of Ahamkara, which are warlock gauntlets. Sealed Ahamkara grasps, hunter gauntlets, skull dire Ahamkara, warlock helmets, young Ahamkara's spine, hunter gauntlets once again. I mean, as you can tell, Ahamkara was used quite a bit for gear. Oh, and not to mention Ahamkara's scale, which was a hunter artifact. It may not be an exotic, but I mean, you guys are getting the point. Ahamkara was definitely introduced quite a bit. And those were just some examples. I'm sure there's more out there that I didn't name. And I don't doubt that we might be able to have a future exotic Ahamkara's sword. That would be freaking awesome. And I would love it if Bungie actually incorporated that into a future DLC. I mean, there is a pretty high chance that we're going to be encountering Ahamkaras in the future in Destiny 2. A very high chance. In the end, very interesting stuff. But something else I wanted to get into, since we're on Io here, is these rising pillars in the background scenery of Io. This was the last place the Traveler was before it came to Earth and was attacked by the darkness. But you can see an entrance or something in the front of this Colosseum or whatever it is. exactly. And we haven't heard much about this or know what this place is, besides it was in an epic cutscene. As you guys can see here, the Traveler is above the pillars. Definitely has me curious on why the Traveler exactly created these pillars here on Io, and if we'll actually be encountering an Ahamkara or Ahamkaras in Destiny 2. Would make for an interesting raid boss encounter, I would say, especially if we encounter one at the size of this concept art Bungie had made. But none of us know for sure. The only ones that do is, of course, Bungie. They know what the future of their game holds, and I'm excited to see what the DLCs are going to be. Anyways, lastly, since I touched base of the Traveler in this video and its correlation to Io, I wanted to go over this mysterious dialogue of a possible link to a new speaker in the tower. This hints that we might be actually introduced to a new speaker. I mean, I'm not sure why they add this if we aren't going to be. Check it out.
They rebuilt the speaker's private quarters even after the reconstruction. I still can't believe that he's gone. He wasn't the first speaker, and he can't be the last, right? We still need a speaker, don't we?
So yeah, there you guys have it, everybody. I guess that's about wrapping up the video. Hopefully you found this enjoyable, and if you did, consider leaving a like. Your guys' support is greatly appreciated. I'm out of here though. Until next time, peace.